How you doing, everybody? My name is Federico Zuñiga Jr. I'm a first-generation Chicano, Latinx from San Jose, California. I'm a bass player, traditional artist, cultural arts practitioner, and a teaching artist with the Alliance for California Traditional Arts. In the Bay Area, where I was from, where I grew up, just like any kid, first-generation kid, with a mix of cultures. I was hearing R&B, hip-hop, rap, alongside the rock of Santana and the corridos of los Tigres del Norte. And inside my home, my dad was a musician too, and he would play jazz, Dave Brubeck, and he played organ in church. That was a little bit of my upbringing. When I started coming up, I started playing punk and rock, and in my early teens, and then started gigging in my early 20s. From there, wanted to get more into my culture, and I started studying traditional music. And in the Bay Area, there was a lot of traditional music at my disposal. I got to learn how to play different styles. I got to learn how to play cumbia, which is, according to Beto Arcos, the most popular Latin dance form in the world. And I had to learn how to play it on this instrument, the bass. The bass has been an amazing instrument for me. It's been a gateway for me to understand different styles. I got to play during this time and learn cumbia on here, salsa, but not only, I got to study traditional music. This instrument right here is called a Leona, and we'll talk about it a little bit more in the videos. And that's to come from a style called son jarocho. The bass continued to intrigue me. And then this instrument right here is called a baby bass, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in the video. So what I want to do in these videos is talk about how these three instruments play on the three styles that I was able to study during my time in the Bay Area, and then when I moved to Los Angeles. Finally here, when I moved here, I got to study formally music later in my life. So we're going to be able to talk about three styles: son jarocho, which is from Veracruz, Mexico, Afro-Caribbean music. We're going to talk about cumbia and its different forms, Mexican cumbia, the different styles, and then also what we ended up learning was a style called cumbia sabanera, and I'm going to show you a demonstration about that. And also, another style that I learned in the Bay Area is called Afro-Peruvian music, and it's got a rich history and it's real funky, and I really stuck to it. So I want to teach you guys, demonstrate some styles here, and also I want to give you guys a little bit of music lesson. We're going to use syllables. We're going to use, I'm going to teach you guys how to hold a beat, how to recognize what a beat is. So we'll do that first, understand what a beat is, go through that lesson, and we're going to learn this kind of rhythm that we can say with our mouths to keep along with the beat, and we're going to watch the beat go across this, we're going to watch the metronome, and we'll teach you what that is too, go across the screen. You're going to hold the beat with it while I'm playing these different styles. So really excited. How you doing, everybody? So today we're going to talk about something fundamental for musicians, and we're going to learn what a beat is, a steady beat, and why that's important as a musician. But what is that? Well, think about a heartbeat. A heart is beating. Now let's picture a scene in a movie, right? Somebody's sick in a hospital, and usually they're in the hospital bed, and they're connected to this machine, right? Let's pretend this box is that machine, and you're hearing like a beep, 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 and usually it's reading their heartbeat. The heart, because the heart is beating. So if they're okay, they're doing well, maybe their heartbeat isn't that fast, okay? So essentially in music, and if somebody is well, who's not sick, but they're cooking up the machine, that beat is steady and consistent. So in music, the beat has to be steady and consistent. It's a pulse, just like our pulse. If we're sitting at rest and we feel our pulse, and you check it, okay, it's pulsating at this many times per minute, and that's what that number is, 63 times. So that means this is a little faster, beep, beep, beep. That means the heart beats 63 times in 1 minute, or 60 seconds. If you look at the clock, it's ticking like that. if you were to clap your hand and watch that hand, you would clap it and it would be 60 seconds before it went all the way around. It's pulsating. So that's what we call a steady beat. We got a steady heart rate, steady heart pulse, but in music we need a steady beat to keep us going. Okay? So let's see let me take you on another thing. So we're going to learn some rhythms that are going to help us keep along with some of the styles, so you can actually at least clap along to the steady beat or a rhythm while I'm playing these styles, and challenge yourself while you're listening. Okay, let's do this. Next thing I'm going to do, here's my drum that you can see right now, and I'm going to clap a steady beat. I'm going to clap. I'm going to make one sound right here on my drum, and I'm going to clap. You're going to tell me how many times I clap. Sorry, brain farted. Okay, let's try it together. Here we go. How many times did I clap? If you said 1, that is correct. Let me do 2 of these sounds on my drum, my heartbeat now, which is my drum, and you're gonna listen and see how many times I clap. Okay? Here we go. Well, there was 2 drum beats. How many times did I clap? If you said 2, that is correct. Let me do 4 of those. Try that again. Here we go. All right. So, how many times did I clap? If you said 4 times, that's correct. And for this case, because we're going to use syllables, and syllables is ancient way in traditional music from around the world, instead of writing notes, because not everybody wrote notes, they just use sounds that they could repeat and say, that's how you do that rhythm. You know, James Brown, we used to use syllables, and he would be improvising. And for him, that's how it worked. And people, amazing musicians, just communicate like that and don't do music. So here's one way to do it that's going to keep us in line. Here we go. So if I did 4 of those beats, I'm going to say this phrase right here. Ta, 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 ta. So I'm going to do 4 of those tas, which represent my hand claps. And let's do it together. I'm going to count to 4. And we're going to say ta 4 times. And clap if we want. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, 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 ta. And rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta again. Ta, 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 ta. And ta means one whole beat. So the syllable ta means when it represents a whole beat. But what would happen if we split that beat in half? What would that sound like? So let me do one beat right here. Let's see what that sounds like. Whoa. Let me do 2 beats and let me split those 2 in half and see what those sounds like. How many sounds did you hear while I was clapping? Let me try that again. You said 4. That is correct. So let's look over here. It's T, 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 T. I'm going to use the syllables T, T, and T, T, because T, T is the sound of one beat split in 2. So if I did 4 of these drum beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to say T, 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 T. Let me show you what that sounds like. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. T, 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 T. 1, 2, let's try it again. 3, 4. T, 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 T. 1, 2, all together. 3, 4, let's clap it. T, 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 T. Good. All right. Here's the last one, I promise. And that way you'll be able to see if you can clap along to some of these rhythms, okay? Last one. What if we split that beat in 3? What would that sound like? We call that a ta-ki-te. Let's say that all together. Ta-ki-te. Exactly how it sounds. Ta-ki-te. Ta-ki-te. And what would that sound like over a beat? It would sound like this. Ta-ki-te. Then we do 2 beats and split those. Ta-ki-te. Ta-ki-te. Let's try that again. Ta-ki-te. Ta-ki-te. So let's say 2 ta-ki-tes. Ready? Here we go. Ta-ki-te. Ta-ki-te. And it was 2 beats, but we split it in 3 each, so we heard 3 sounds clapping. Let's count to 4, and then we're going to say ta-ki-te 4 times. Let's try it together. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta-ki-te, 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 ta-ki-te. Let me slow it down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta-ki-te, 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 ta-ki-te. Awesome. So after that, one thing that I want to show you is this machine. It's called a metronome. And the metronome creates ticks, just like our heartbeat, to help us stay in rhythm. And when we combine these sounds, we're gonna make different rhythms. And I'll show you that for each rhythm, for every section that we're gonna play. You can only hold the steady beat, which is just a ta, 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 and then we'll make a rhythm for each beat that we're gonna do, okay? Here's the metronome. You'll see this, and you also see a flashing light. So you can either say ta, 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 or ti, 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 ta-ki-te, 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 ta-ki-te. I know that's a little tough, but want to make it so people at different levels can grasp something. If anything, all you gotta hold or clap while I'm playing is this. It might be faster or slower, and you got the tas. Sounds good? All right, everybody. I'll catch you in the next section. Hi, everybody. So I want to talk a little bit about this rhythm called cumbia. Cumbia is music that's originally from Colombia, from Afro-descendant people. It's Afro-Caribbean music. And cumbia, as I've learned now from my teachers, Eduardo Martinez and Alberto Lopez, that the form that we know it, that we dance to, is actually called raspa. And what happened was there was a musician named Lucho Bermudez. And he was a clarinet player during the 40s and 50s, and he was a musician, composer during the big band era. He heard these melodies on the coast that these instruments called gaitas were playing, and he wanted to make it into a big band version so he can present his music to the rich upper class in Colombia. Thus, he removed some of the black elements in it, and cumbia was born. It still had enough syncopation that it made everybody move, but it removed some crucial elements. So we probably heard cumbia like this. Let me play you an example. From there, actually, cumbia, it became so popular, every country in Latin America has their own version. So if you were in LA or in the United States or California, you probably heard of cumbia. Stop them right there. But the roots of cumbia actually sound like this. So that's a big difference from what you heard me play right now. So one of the artists that came to me when I was younger, in my early 20s, was an artist named Andres Landero. For his family and grandparents played these instruments, the gaita that you heard, and played those very lively drums with kick drums. And he was an accordion player, and he decided to start to create his own style that still had all those rich African root drums, but and mix it with the accordion, and it created a style called cumbia sabanera. Well, that's one of the names of it, where we're just doing simply tas, just simply tas on the bass. So now I want you to check this out, and we're gonna move on to the lesson before you hear the example of a group that I used to play with called La Colectiva, that we were influenced by this musician, and when he would play and wrote our own song in that Andres Landero style. Okay, cool. See you guys soon. All right, everybody. So you just heard me demonstrate the style of cumbia on the bass and some of it. Now let's get back to the nitty-gritty so you can play along with me. So the first thing we found out, remember this machine right here? The metronome, which helped us keep that consistent beat. I'm gonna put it on. You're gonna see it on the screen, and it's gonna say 90. And you're gonna hear that tick. And then also I'm gonna do it right here on my drum. So we're just gonna say tas. You're gonna see an accent. You're gonna hear an accent, or you're just gonna see the flashing light. Pardon. So you're gonna see the flashing light on this, and you'll see it on the screen. You're gonna see it flash like that, and you can play along with it. I'm gonna put it down, we can hear it right now. So we're just gonna do that together. Ta, 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 ta. 1, 2, all together. 3, 4. Ta, 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 ta. All together. 1, 2. That's a steady beat. Ta, 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 ta. Rest. Now you do it. Clap it. Here we go. Ta, 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 ta. Clap it. Rest. Here we go. All right. And I also, if you want to challenge yourself at the end, and it's going to keep getting harder in the next styles, you're going to say ti. So it's going to be ta, 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 ti, ta, ta. We're going to keep repeating that. Ti, ta, 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 ti, ta, 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 ti. Let's try that together. I'm going to turn the metronome. I'm going to count to 4, and we're going to clap, and we're going to say ta, 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 ti. I'm going to just go like this on the board so you hear that ti. And we'll try it again. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Let's clap. Ta, 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 ti, ta, 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 ti, ta, 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 ti, ta, 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 ti. Good. So you can either just hold the beat, you'll see the flashing light. Or remember, on beat 4, you can go say ti. Got it? Okay, good job, fellas. I'll see you in the next one.
Guayato, Malecón y San Isidro, es donde vive la gente morena. Ay, en San Isidro. Beben aguardiente de caña maduro, todas las mujeres son lindas morenas. Beben aguardiente de caña maduro, todas las mujeres son lindas morenas. Ay, yo no lo olvido.
So this is the Leona, made out of one single piece of wood that plays the bass function in a genre of music called son jarocho. My teacher, one of my teachers, named Liceo Ceguera, requinto player from Coatzacoalcos, Veracruz, he has this story, and he says that during the colonial period, the Afro descendants in the Caribbean coast who become jarochos used to have drums. And he said the drum used to sound like this. Because they couldn't use their drums at that time, the church took them away. They had to interpret the rhythms that they remembered here. That's one story. That's not corroborated by other parts of Veracruz, and it's not written, but it's an oral story that he likes to tell. But it makes sense in terms of the rhythm that they're playing. It carries the bass function. So right now we're gonna put on some zapateado, some drumming, and I'm gonna improvise a little bit so you can get a feel of what this sounds like with some dance steps, which are the other percussive parts. So let me show you what this instrument sounds like. All right. Okay.
quieres nomás por una duda colorada. Es mi sangre también como la tuya. Dices que no me quieres nomás por una duda colorada. Es mi sangre también como la tuya.
Colas, colas, colas el Nicolás, lo mucho que te quiero, el mal pago que me das. Colas, colas, colas el Nicolás, lo mucho que te quiero, el mal pago que me das. Mal pago que me das. Mal pago que me das. Mal pago que me das.
So Afro-Peruvian music, how did a Mexican-American Latinx son of immigrants from Juarez originally, how did he start playing Afro-Peruvian music? Well, in the Bay Area, there's so many cultures. And from studying son jarocho, which was, we'll learn later in some more lessons, that has a real heavy African influence, I learned how to play in groups of not only 4, but what we call 6. When we're talking about those taquite, taquite, taquite. Well, anyways, I became friends with cultural music practitioners. A friend of mine, his name is Pedro Rosales, and you'll hear him playing congas today. He's going to be singing, and he helped me with this arrangement of the song that you're going to hear. It's called El Mayoral.
Federico, guarda, el tema Mayoral.
Qué dolor siente mi pecho cuando está de madrugada. Qué dolor siente mi pecho cuando está de madrugada. El Mayoral con su retorno no deja descansar. El Mayoral con su retorno no deja descansar. A las 4 de la mañana cuando el sol ya va a asomar. A las 4 de la mañana cuando el sol ya va a asomar. El Mayoral con su retorno no deja descansar. El Mayoral con su retorno no deja descansar. Para papá, papá, papá. Para papá, papá, papá. Para papá, 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 papá. Para papá, papá, papá. Para papá, 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 papá. Para papá, papá, papá. Para papá, 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 papá. Para papá, papá, papá. Ay, Mayoral. Ay, Mayoral. Ay, 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 Mayoral. Ay, Mayoral. Ay, 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 Gamonal. Ay, Mayoral. Ay, ay, Caporal. Ay, Mayoral. Saca tu machete, Cipriano. Saca tu machete. Afina tu lámpara, José. Afina tu lámpara. Saca tu machete, Cipriano. Saca tu machete. Afina tu lámpara, José. Afina tu lámpara. Saca tu machete, Cipriano. Saca tu machete. Afina tu lámpara, José. Afina tu lámpara. Saca tu machete, Cipriano. Saca tu machete. Afina tu lámpara, José. Afina tu lámpara. Así. Verse. Mastícalo. Hachi. Ya swing it, baby. ¿Te gusta la cochinada? Ya te vi. ¿Sí? ¡Ja! Qué dolor siente mi pecho cuando está de madrugada. Qué dolor siente mi pecho cuando está de madrugada. El Mayoral con su retorno no deja descansar. El Mayoral con su retorno no deja descansar. A las 4 de la mañana cuando el sol ya va a asomar. A las 4 de la mañana cuando el sol ya va a asomar. El Mayoral con su retorno no deja descansar. El Mayoral con su retorno no deja descansar. Para papá, papá, papá. Para papá, papá, papá. Para papá, papá, papá. Para papá, papá. tu machete, Cipriano.
Saca tu